What's up? What's up? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mind Your Damn Business. And today we have my special guest. She is a self-love coach. You may have seen her on Facebook. She goes by the name Jasmine Nicole. Let's go. Hi, Jasmine.
Hey, girl.
How are you doing today?
I am doing great.
So, I just want you to know, out of all my interviews, this was my most excited interview that I was just excited about. You can ask anybody. All my other interviews, I was talking about you. Like, I got Jasmine Nicole coming through.
Oh.
So, when Tia made that post, she was talking about when we were here
Uh-huh.
during her interview, and I was talking about you.
Oh,
So
that
I
really makes my
love
heart
it.
smile.
I hope it does, because I love what you do. I love seeing you on Facebook. I'm so big on like clearing out my Facebook of negativity, and you are like, Jasmine is not going nowhere. I need to see you on my timeline every day with your positive affirmations, and like it's amazing what you are doing. But I want you to tell the people who Jasmine Nicole is.
Whew. Child, where do I start? Jasmine Nicole is
That girl for
this
one.
amazing woman. It'd be right.
Yes.
That girl, period. First and foremost. But I'm a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 amazing kids. I have 3 businesses. I also have a podcast too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a teacher, a full-time teacher. And I'm just this woman that's on this journey of loving herself, learning herself, and I'm spreading it as I go.
You definitely are. So what sparked this journey? Because I know everybody has like something that just sparks their self-love journey, unless you grew up hearing it like every day, like love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. So what sparked you on your self-love journey?
First of all, I didn't grow up hearing it. You're
Yeah.
right. It's some women that do
They
grow
grow
up
up.
hearing
Mm-hmm.
it, but I wasn't one of those women.
Mm-hmm.
Mine started about almost 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through a breakup,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember in my tub just crying, like boo, crying, like, God, who am I? Like, I don't know myself no more. Like, my relationship just ended. I feel like, who am I?
Yeah.
And it's just, I heard God say, love yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself, learn yourself, value yourself.
Wow.
And it been from there. It's been one hell of a journey, okay?
Yeah.
I can tell you that. But that's when it started.
Mhm.
I didn't grow up. My mom spoke nothing about self-love.
Mm-hmm.
She was a hard-working woman working 2 or 3 jobs to take care of us, and she never took no time out for herself.
Oh, wow.
So now, in her age that she's in now, she is taking that time. So I am learning from that as well. But yeah, I didn't grow up on it. I taught myself this is something I'm teaching myself and teaching my children so they know it when they do grow up.
Yeah. And self-love is so important, because I feel like people mistake it for cockiness.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand the importance of knowing you're that girl, knowing that like the same way you love your children, the same way you love your friends, the same way you love your spouse, you should love yourself the same way, if not 10 times better. Because we have all, like, for instance, with our children, we won't let our kids date a terrible person.
No.
We won't let our kids be abused mentally, but we'll go through it. It's like we love our kids more than we love ourselves.
Yes.
So with your self-love journey, what was the first step for you? I know my first step, and I hate to say it, but it was fake it until you make it.
Mm-hmm.
I would just constantly tell myself, like, look myself in the mirror, I love you, Andrea. I love you, Andrea. You so beautiful. And at the time, I really didn't believe it. Like, I honestly did not believe it. But someone told me that was what I should do. So what was your first step?
I tried to fake it till you make it too. Okay? And you're right. It don't work.
No.
My first step was being honest with myself. Was being truly honest. Like, okay, I'm saying this stuff, but I don't believe nothing I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying it just to say it.
Yeah.
I still feel empty.
Yeah.
So being honest, like, okay, yeah, you don't love yourself. You don't really know who you are. But now, here's when the action part comes in. Now, how do we get there? So I started with I have a self dating jar where when my kids are gone, I'll pick up my jar. It could be something at home, or it could be something where I'm going out getting dressed up. But I spend time with myself in home now, because I used to could not stay in my home by myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my kids used to be gone. I would sit in my car
just
to avoid my house because it was empty. It was quiet.
Empty.
But I was like, you know what? No, we got to push through this. So I'm going to go in this house and I'm going to sit in my own solitude. And it's just being honest, being real honest with you. Just like you would be honest with your friend or your sister or your parents, whoever. Because I'm one of those people that's very honest. But I wasn't being truly honest with myself. So that was my first step, being honest that I'm faking it. Yeah. You really just sit here faking it, pushing through. But now it's time to actually be truthful. Wow. And that's how I push through.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you have in your self-care jar? And before you say it, I know about your self-care jar. I tell my clients about your self-care jar. When I have clients where I can tell, like, they just having a little issues with kind of loving themselves, because you can tell. Yeah. You can tell by how you can tell by how people treat themselves and what people allow for themselves if they really truly love themselves. So I have a client and I tell them about your self-care jar. I'm like, I know this girl, she has a self-care jar. She just have is it popsicle sticks?
You can use popsicle sticks. I use sticky notes.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, I thought it was popsicle sticks. I was like, she have popsicle sticks. She just writes something down on them, and every week she just randomly pick it. Everybody's like, dang, that's a good idea. I'm like, yeah, you should do it, because I think I was watching a live that you did, and you asked the question, do you love yourself? And then I was like, yeah. And you said, what do you do to show yourself you love yourself? Like, what do you do? And for me, the only thing I could really think of is getting dressed up, doing my makeup. I like going to the beach. But I really couldn't think of, like, stuff that I do. So if you could give people a few examples of what you have for your self-care jar, that'd be good.
So I have things like going out to eat alone. You know how rare that is that people do that? I say that all the time. People be like, girl, what? You eat by yourself? Yeah. And I enjoy it.
I'm a queen of eating by myself.
Yeah. But people be looking at me like, what? You really sit at a restaurant by yourself? Yes, I do. And I enjoy every bit of it. So that, I also put things that I have never tried and I want to try. And stuff, the internal work. Like you said, we're used to getting dressed up, putting on clothes. We feel like that girl when we do that. But what happens when you take that stuff off?
Exactly.
So the internal work, I journal. I have my affirmations that I say every day.
Do you say it with your children?
Yes, they have their own. They have their own that we say every morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I have an affirmation video that I listen to with my son every morning on the way to drop him off to school. And I didn't think it was getting to him until one day, just randomly, he was like, I am a leader and not a follower. I am a champion. Like, just randomly. And I was like, oh, baby, you gotta say that shit. And he was like, yeah, mommy, I'm a leader and not a follower. Because our kids listen to it. And it made me realize just the same way my kid listened to that, he's also listening to the negative things too. He's remembering the negative things, the negative music that we listen to in the morning. So now in the morning, I make sure that I listen to positive, like, even if it's not motivational stuff, it'll be just like positive music, like music that has like a good meaning, not drop it down low.
Yeah, like, I think for me, it's too early in the morning for that. I don't even want to get out of bed, so why would I want to drop it down low?
Yes.
I listen to gospel in the morning, which has been very, very helpful with my journey. And my kids, I love to hear them sing the songs.
Yes.
Even, it's impacting them, because if I forget to sing them, they be like, well, Mama, we got to say our affirmations when we get to the school. It warms your heart to be teaching them something positive.
Especially if you weren't taught it.
Yeah.
Like, I wish somebody taught me. Like I said, my mama didn't tell me to love myself. I wish my mom would have told me to love myself, like, when I was 5 years old. Especially, I'm just not used to hearing I love you in general.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I love yourself. I'm just not used to hearing it in general. So that was always big for me. Like, as I got older and with my son, I tell my son I love him, no lie, probably 20 times a day.
Yeah.
He's never had to, like, if I die today, my son gonna tell you, my mama loved me. She made sure she told me. So I love that you're doing that with your kids. Yeah. Like, that's amazing. So what are some other things that you are teaching your children about, like, self-love and...
I teach them to not be afraid to show emotion. I have a son. So men these days don't believe in showing their emotion. And as you can see, once that stuff build up, you explode. Yeah. And that can explode in so many different ways that you probably don't even mean for it to happen, but it happens. Wow. And I don't want that for my child. Yeah. I don't want to have to get a phone call saying, hey, like, your child just exploded. Yeah. Shot somebody or fought somebody. You just, yeah. And it's like, no, that's not my son, but you never know what they're holding in. Wow. And I'm not going to say cry over everything, like, no. But if you're feeling your emotions, feel them. Wow. I teach them to feel their emotions. Even when they're mad at me, they might not like something that I tell them to do. I don't be like, oh, well, like I always was told, fix your face. Yeah. You have an attitude problem. And it's like, no, I just don't agree with what you're saying. I know I'm a child, so I can't say nothing back. So I teach them to feel their emotions. And what they used to say, oh, don't talk back. But I don't consider it talking back. I mean, if they feel a certain way, I give them that space to express that to me. So just doing that, because I didn't grow up in a household where I was able to be vocal about my feelings. And I think that's where my protection and this wall that I've had up for years come from, because I had to put it up. Yeah. Because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions and I had nobody to tell me. Yeah. So that's mainly what I teach my kids to feel your emotions, and it's okay. It's okay because you're human. Wow. I'm so glad you brought up the wall being up, because I feel like, I know with me and my self-love journey, that was one thing that I had to break down in order for me to really love myself, to realize that, like, that soft girl era that everybody's talking about, they don't understand that that's a real thing. Yeah, it's hard. And it's hard. It's so hard, especially when you have, like, years of trauma. We build up these, I call it, like, survival armor. You have all this survival armor on you from the traumas that you had to survive as a child. And then when we get older and we get grown, we done surpassed those traumas, but we still have this survival armor on. And it's hard for us to really know who we are until we take that survival armor down. Because it's like, you don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be mean. You just mean because probably in your childhood you had other mean people around you. So in your defense, okay, it's like, let me be mean to you before you be mean to before you be mean to me. So in your journey, how was that for you, taking that wall down? Was that something hard? Like, what were the steps for you? What was the steps that you had to take to, like, basically let go of, like, past trauma? Because I'm big on really loving yourself is letting go of past trauma and forgiveness. Like, I'm really big on that. Like, when you really truly love yourself, it's so easier to forgive. I believe that it is. It's much easier to forgive people because you realize, hey, I wouldn't be who I am today if you didn't do that to me. Even though at the time you may not understand, like, why did that have to happen to me? But when you really begin to love yourself, you say, okay, I wouldn't be me if that didn't happen. So what were some steps that you took to get rid of, like, those past traumas that you went through? Because everybody has traumas. Everybody. Yes. If you alive and you walking and you breathing, you have traumas. And as long as you're alive, you're going to keep having traumas. Yeah, they're going to keep coming up. So my past trauma, girl, I'm still getting past my past trauma. But I can give you an example. When I was 16, I was in a car. My cousin died right on the side of me. And that was a wall I built up. In that moment, me being 16, even though we were in a car with an adult, I had to be the adult. Everybody was panicking. And my first thing in my mind was like, okay, you can't panic because now you have to protect everybody. So I built up that wall as a protector, even of myself. So going back and identifying that was the hardest thing ever.
Wow.
In therapy, just talking about it, I broke down in tears.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tough, but I felt relieved.
Wow.
Like I really felt like a weight lifted off my back. Just knowing like, okay, this is where you being so protective of yourself and of others come from. So once I identified that, I was able to heal even more. I was able to open up and be vulnerable. That moment stopped a lot of me. I wasn't able to be vulnerable. I didn't express myself.
Yeah.
I knew I was always emotional, but it never showed on the outside. So I would be like crying on the inside and like maybe happy some days, but my face would just be like, like what they call the resting bitch.
Yes,
yeah.
I completely understand.
So, breaking down those walls is hard. I do it through therapy. Therapy has helped me a lot. It has really taught me that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be emotional. Learning to control your emotions is big with self-love, because being so emotional like that, you can react to certain things that's probably not really a big deal when you think about it. And I'm an overthinker too, so
me too.
Emotions and overthinking, like I'll be really like, oh my god. But I've learned to be calm and like think about the reality of the situation. But breaking down walls isn't hard. I mean, easy for anybody.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't care what kind of trauma you got. It is not easy to be honest and face your
and
trauma up front.
That why. I feel like that's the hardest part is you can say, okay, I'm angry. You can know, okay, I'm angry. I have this anger management problem. But then you have to find out why. Why do I have this anger problem? Like, why am I sleeping around with multiple men? Why am I letting my boyfriends, and not even just this boyfriend, why have I let all my boyfriends mistreat me? Yeah. And I feel like that helps with your healing once you get down to that why. Yeah. Like for me, I had to like, why? Why do I keep dating the same type of guys? Why do I keep letting all these terrible men into my life? And then once I realized, okay, I'm only dating. Hey, I know you're enjoying the show, but I just want to take a quick minute to highlight the sponsor for today's episode. Check it out.
The vision I have for Fly is to be everything that I needed when I was younger and still need today. The purpose of this organization is to empower women and to be the living example that even though you have faced traumatic experiences or adversity, that you can still come out of it. My name is Lachey Johnson, and I'm the CEO and founder of First Love Yourself Incorporated.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Keep your eyes on the road ahead. But if you're feeling lost in the night, it's okay to cry, just as long as you hold your head. 'Cause we're on our way to better. Better's ahead, better's ahead. It gets worse before it gets better. But better's ahead, better's ahead. Better days coming.
So I heard you mention about getting in a car accident with your cousin. I'm actually very familiar with that because it happened around my birthday. My birthday is March 21st. I'm not sure the exact day it happened.
The 20th.
But for my birthday every year, I always see something about it. If it's not a billboard, if it's not on the radio, if it's not all down my Facebook. So how did that affect you? Because that's a huge trauma. It's one thing to lose somebody. It's another thing to lose somebody in front of you. I didn't even know that. I never knew that until you said that. Yeah. So how did that affect you?
Ooh.
Especially in the car.
In the car.
Did you get shot?
No. Oh. It was 5 of us in the car.
Wow.
Only she got shot. She got shot one time.
Oh, wow.
The car was actually hit like 56 times though. So that just lets you know God was everywhere around that situation. But it was hard. Like I said, I built up a wall where I didn't really know how to express myself.
And how old were you? Because that's important. The age that they happened, y'all were children.
Yeah, we were children. I was 16. We had just turned 16. We were leaving the mall. We were planning to go to Bob Hayes. Remember that was when Bob Hayes was real. So we was planning to do that. Stop by a friend's house and well, we wanted to get at a friend's house. We was trying to find it. Mm-hmm. And stopped at the stop sign, and we just heard like gunshots. And next thing we know, they were coming towards the car.
Oh, wow.
So everybody's just in panic mode. But once Tiffany got shot, something in my mind just clicked. Like, okay, you can't panic.
Yeah.
Because you have to fend for everybody else.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I built up that wall of protection.
Because it was like you couldn't even grasp what was happening because you're just in protect mode.
Yeah, I tell you no lie, I probably didn't grasp what happened till like years later.
Wow.
Because everything happened so fast, from that to finding out she did pass away to dealing with everybody else in their emotions. Because my aunt was an emotional wreck for some time.
And they actually gave Tiffany a diploma at my graduation.
Yeah,
your aunt came. I completely forgot about that until just now.
Yeah.
I remember she came. She was beautiful. They gave her a diploma. It was really nice. Yeah. So I know that was I know that was a tragic. And were you and your cousin close?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Girl, like you would have thought that was my sister. That like every day, all day, together. Wow. Yes.
Wow.
So that was even hard to like lose somebody that was like
close.
Literally your hip. Wow. They used to call us thing 1 and thing 2.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot at 16, and looking back, I'd be like, dang, girl, like, you really went through a lot at 16. And now I see, because for years I used to be like, why are you like this? Like, why are you like this? I don't like this. This is not you. But like you said, getting to that why. And now I was able to understand, okay, certain things happened that was not in my control. But now moving forward, everything is in my control. So that's how I changed and continue to change and going through my healing journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for someone who's 16 that just lost someone, or even not even just 16, just someone who is dealing with grief?
Grief is hard. It never goes away. My best advice is to just take your time. Take your time, do it at your pace. Some days you're okay. I could be in the car, I could hear a song, and I will literally burst into tears.
Wow.
Yeah, but I know, like, the good thing about it is I know she's always around me. I know she's very proud of me, and even her mom, the things that she's doing in her honor.
Yeah.
So
her mama don't let up, baby. Matter of fact, I live 2 streets down from her mom's daycare.
Okay.
Literally 2 streets down, so I see Tiffany's face every day. Like, every day. I forgot that was your cousin. Yeah. Like, I was not even planning on asking you about that until you brought it up. Yeah. But I stay in Paxton. I stay 2 streets down from her daycare. And I think she has 2 centers now.
She has a private school too.
Yep, I'm by the one that's next to the gas station right there.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, the first one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was some really good advice. What do you think was the hardest part of your journey? I know for me, it was forgiveness. What was the hardest part?
Dealing with my own shit. Understanding that my shit do stink.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But that's great. I feel like identifying your own problems is super huge with self-development, because you can never develop if you don't understand, like, okay, I'm wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I'm doing is not right, because just us as humans, we tend to feel like our shit don't stink. Everybody is wrong except us, which is never the case.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody's
never
wrong.
the case.
Nobody's perfect. But I thought I was perfect, so I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
I did too.
I thought I was amazing.
Perfect.
I mean, I still am amazing.
You are.
But understanding that I do mess up sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm human.
So what were some areas that you had to work on? Mine was overthinking. Mine was thinking I'm the shit, thinking I'm not. I'm so serious. I just knew nothing that I did was wrong. I don't care how I reacted. Nothing that I did was wrong. But it was reacting off of those emotions. Once I learned to not react off emotions, then I just made better decisions. So what were some obstacles that you had to overcome in your journey? Or some obstacles that you had to realize, okay, I could chill out with that, or I was wrong with that?
Yeah. Negative talking to yourself. Just negativity, period. Like gossiping, like that's what I grew up around. So it's very heartwarming to be around women that embrace each other and love on each other and say kind things to each other. So negative self-talk too. That was something. That's what made me start affirmations and talking to myself. Like you said, I thought I did nothing wrong. Like, nobody could. I don't care what I did. Okay, it was not wrong, and you did something to me first. And overthinking. I'm a big procrastinator. I said.
Oh, okay. I'm an Aries. I feel like I'm the queen of overthinking. I promise you I am.
Girl, it's bad. It is bad. But I've gotten better with it. I've gotten better with coming back down. Like, I tell myself, okay, come back to present time, Jasmine. Like, you all in the past or either you all in the future. Let's come back down to here and let's just do what we can do right now.
Yeah.
So that's what helps me with overthinking. Girl, it's so much. I'm a self-sabotager, okay? That's probably in parentheses in my name. It'll be self-sabotager. But I've gotten better with it. That's why I started my program from self-sabotage to self-love. Because I can really, show you the way to not be so negative to yourself in so many ways. You never think it's so deep, but it really, really goes deep. And that was the hardest part of my journey. Like, looking myself in the mirror and saying, like, dang, like, you really did some fucked up stuff. And, like, you have to own up to it. And now you have to fix it. That was hard for me.
Wow. Did you have any, did you have to overcome loving your physical appearance? Because I feel like every woman, once I realized that every woman deals with that, and no matter how pretty you think somebody is, every woman has to deal with that. Is that something that you had to overcome, just like loving the way that you look? Just outright loving the way that you look?
Yes. Yeah. Some days I want to be skinny, some days I want to be fit. It depends. But yeah, I mean, I had 2 kids. I gained weight and I lost weight. And even when I was going through my depression, like, I was skinny.
Wow.
I wasn't eating. I looked at a mess.
Wow.
But now, like, I say I want to gain weight. But now I'm just accepting.
You look good.
Thank you.
You do.
I just want to, be.
You look good.
But
there's somebody right now that'll kill to be your size.
I know, that's what I tell myself. Like, girl, just relax. Like, now it's just more so I just want to be healthy.
Yeah,
I just want to be healthy.
It's about.
Yeah,
that really is what it's about.
Yeah, instead of worrying about my size. Or I've been embracing my body more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went through that phase too. Like, when I was getting dressed, I was like, you know what? I'm starting to like my legs now.
No,
so,
for real.
Yeah,
I have my days. So some days I walk past the mirror and I promise you, I'm the finest thing do right. Then some days I be like, oh, you need to lose this stomach. You need to lose about 10 pounds.
Girl, you look good.
But to be honest, I never thought I was pretty.
Really?
Ever. When I say I never thought I was pretty. So it got to a point where I was self-sabotaging myself. It got to a point where I was like, you just need to face the fact you'll always be fat. Because I used to be 50 pounds heavier. Mm-hmm. You just need to face the fact that you'll always be fat. You'll always be ugly. You just need to embrace it. You ain't never going to change. And it's crazy now because I said to my sister in March, I honestly, and I said it and I never thought that I would get to that point. I said, I cannot believe I thought I was ugly. Like, I really was like...
I'm looking at
I cannot, like, huh? I'm so serious. I'm literally... I'm 27, 26 years. It was no lie. That was my 27th birthday weekend when I was like, you know what? You're beautiful, like for real. And every day now I can see it because I'm big on everything you believe is true. I wasn't beautiful because I didn't think that I was beautiful. And it's so crazy that now that I know that I'm beautiful, I've been attracting so much more. And I don't look different. I really don't. It's just that inner.
Yeah, you feel different.
You do.
You feel different. It hits different when you are the one embracing you're beautiful versus somebody telling you that.
Do you have problems with people not liking the new self-love that you have? Because I deal with that too. And I'm like, damn, do I love myself a little too much? Then I had to step back and like, hey, there's no such thing as loving yourself too much. Like, because people will make you feel that. Like, I've had people genuinely make me feel that way. Like, you need to, like, straight up tell me you need to, like, come down a little bit. How do you deal with that?
You should say you need to come, you
need to come up a little bit. But how do you deal with that?
I don't.
Because I feel like you are on, like, your light is shining so bright right now. I don't think you know.
I know.
You don't. I don't think, and I said that too. I said she doesn't, you don't, and it's hard because you can't see how bright your light is when you are the light, because you are the light. So everywhere that you go is bright, but you shine so bright. Like, I just need you to know that. And like, I love what you're doing. You're going to reach so many people. It was a reason why you had to go through your depression. It was a reason why you had to go through what you had to go through for this.
Yeah.
Because you're going to reach so many women, black girls, little black girls that never heard nobody say, love yourself.
Yeah.
And why should they go through that? Why should they have to go through traumas until they 25 years old? Why nobody can't tell them at 5 years old, girl, love yourself. I'm so big on if I see a girl, you can ask anybody. If I see a little girl, the first thing I'm going to say is, you so pretty.
Yeah.
You are so pretty. I'm going to pretty you to death.
Where's the affirmations?
What?
Yeah.
But back to the question, how do you deal with the negativity from others that you get? Or is it just something that you ignore and you keep moving?
I now ignore it. But when you have self-doubt, it like triggers it.
It does.
So it does have you second guess, and I went through my phase of like, am I really just like overconfident?
Me too.
Or am I doing too much? And it was something, a light bulb was like, hell no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You definitely not.
Like I worked hard to get here. But yeah, people tell me that all the time. Like, who do you think you are? Like, you love yourself too much. Like, yeah, you can self-love, but, like, now you're taking it too far. It's no such thing as too far.
No such thing.
It's no such thing. And I've learned to not let people make me feel guilty for
and you definitely not
learning to love myself.
You're not taking it too far.
I don't think I do.
Because I feel like you can up a notch a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think you haven't realized that how light your, like, how... You haven't come, like, you know you that girl, but you gotta know. Because you really is, like, when I say seeing you on my timeline really do be, like, the highlight of my day. I be like, you don't even know what people be going through. And then just to see your positive affirmations that you post, I be like, oh, right on time. Okay, Jasmine, you get me right back together. It be right on time. But... So, speaking of positive affirmations, because I know you post that a lot, what are some of your favorite positive affirmations? Because y'all feel like you can never have too many.
It ain't. It's so many.
You can
like I change them all the time.
You do.
On my mirror. I have on my mirror, girl. I have
Oh,
them
wow.
on my phone as a reminder. Like, they're everywhere around me. Because, like I said, I
Wow.
had very negative self-talk. It was bad. And I was wondering why certain things was happening. It's like, because you're speaking it into existence.
Literally.
It took my sister to say, well, Jasmine, you did just say that.
Literally.
I'm like, oh, I did. So, my favorite ones, I consider myself one of God's favorites. So, that's one of my favorite ones. I am worthy, because people can make you feel like you're not. I'm deserving of everything that God puts in my face. I'm a millionaire. Period.
You are.
It's on the way. Okay.
It's pending in
Yeah,
the bank account.
pending right now. Yeah. I'm a money magnet. I think that is very important.
I say that one.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. I am a money magnet.
Yeah. Cause some of mine is like so deep. Like people be like, girl, like dang, like where you get that affirmation from? Mine's simple. But
affirmations can be as deep as you want it to be, or as simple as you want it to be. It could be I'm beautiful. It could be I'm cute.
Yeah, it's whatever you need to put. Like mine started off small. Like I said, I'm beautiful, I'm smart. Whatever you need to believe at that moment. I started from there and I worked my way up to saying more in detail with how I'm feeling at the time. Because in this self-love journey, healing journey that I'm on, it changes. Like you feel different. You feel like, okay, I worked on this area. Let me work on this area. So now I'm always constantly saying, oh, I am healed. But I am not broken. I'm whole. Those are also important because we can walk around feeling like, dang, like I'm this broken woman that's hurting. No, you're healed. And it's on the way. Affirmations is for things that you want to exist. People forget it's not how you feel right now. And I think that's why I had a hard time with affirmations, because I'm thinking, okay, I should feel this stuff right now. Like I just said it. Now why don't I feel it? No, this is how you want to feel moving forward. And the more you say it and embrace it and feel it and believe it, that's what comes to pass. So I think people get affirmations confused. With how you feel right now.
Yeah. And that's when I was taught about affirmations, that's what someone taught me. Like, she was just like, when I first started doing my affirmations, I thought I was smart, and I didn't think that. And after you say it so much and you start moving in that way, it becomes your reality. Like, one of my affirmations used to be, I shine bright, I'm the light in every room I walk in. And when I tell you now, I'm the light in every room I walk in, it be crazy. Like, people are just attracted to me. And when I was down and I was gloomy and I was negative and I was impatient, that didn't happen to me. But now I stand up straight, I walk with my head up. That's super big.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm big. A big lesson that I learned in my self-love journey is people treat you the way you treat you. Have you noticed people treat you differently since you've been treating yourself differently?
People treat you with respect now.
Yes.
Yeah.
The same as that thing it's been happening to me. Like, even with certain guys that I've attracted, I attract different guys now than what I did when I really didn't love myself. And I can honestly say I didn't love myself. Like, 5 years ago, I didn't love myself because I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I did not know that was a thing.
So common now, versus, like I said, the older generation, they don't know about loving themselves. And I went through a stage where I was like, dang, like my mama didn't teach me this, but I had to understand she didn't even know.
She didn't know.
I doubt if my grandma even knew. All they knew was to be strong black women and work hard and take care of their family. That's what they passed on to us. And I went through a stage where I was working too hard. And I'm like, okay, like I'm working too damn hard. I'm putting all my energy into a relationship, into kids. Like, who's forgot about me? Yeah.
I've learned to put myself first.
Yeah.
I really have.
But they don't teach you about that. Like, you didn't grow up seeing that in your household. You had to learn to put out. Everything I learned is self-talk. I didn't have nobody I could go to and say, hey, like, I'm really struggling in
You
this
don't have
area.
anybody that you listen to? Like me, I'm big. I love Coach Stormy. I love Les Brown. I love Tony Robbins. You don't have anybody that you listen to? Now.
I had to Google that stuff. YouTube was my best friend. Days when I felt like I was just like I didn't have no strength for nothing. I went to YouTube.
Yeah, motivational
and God,
videos.
can't forget about God. But yeah, Sarah Jakes Roberts is my favorite.
I love her too. I don't watch her as much, but the videos that I have seen, I think she has a Girl Get Up. I love that one.
Yes.
I watched that multiple times.
Yeah, on my days when I can't get up.
Yeah. So I'm big on that, and that's for anybody watching this. If you are having just a bad day, get on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can if you're dealing with stress, you can get on in there and put motivational videos for stress.
Yeah, you can actually go and like whatever you're looking for, and a lot of stuff pop up. I was up 3 o'clock in the morning the other night, and I YouTubed what was it? Being emotional detached. Cause I was like dealing with my emotions. I'm like, I feel like I'm emotional detached.
So you went from being too emotional to feeling emotionally detached. Wow.
Yeah, and I know why. You know, in your childhood, when you getting in trouble and your mama tell you to hush, like stop crying, and they beat you more for crying. That's where that emotional detachment. I had to suck it up. Dang, I couldn't come to my mama about how I felt.
Maybe I'm emotionally detached because now it's like if I'm dealing with something, I try not to put my emotions in it. But this is why I don't. I don't because my faith. I feel like I can't stress about it. I can't be emotional about it because then your faith ain't as strong as you say your faith is. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know why. It's like even right now I'm having a car situation. As much as I want to be stressed out about it and be all super emotional about it, it's like, okay, God, I trust you. I know you're I can't even put no emotions into this right now because I just know it's gonna end up working out. So I do kind of detach my emotions from certain situations when it comes to stuff like that.
That is faith. But do you detach your emotions from like relationships and people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're emotionally detached. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm big on, and I know that's something that I struggle with. I'm big on cutting people off.
Yeah.
I feel like I have enough relationships with people where I'll put up with your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have enough siblings where it's like, you're not going to always get along with your siblings. I'll put up with their bullshit. We're going to be back cool. I love them to death. So when it comes to certain people, it's like, I'm not finna put up with your bullshit. My bullshit list is already full of people. I'm so serious. I'm like, my bullshit list is already full of people who I'll put up with their bullshit. I'm still going to love them. I'm still going to be there for them. We can get into it. We can argue. Once that list is full, I'll be like, anybody else? I'm quick to cut people off.
I think it depends on the bullshit, though.
I don't do none bullshit. But I'm an overthinker, too. So I realized, too, that I've cut a lot of people off from overthinking. I didn't even have a conversation with them.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even ask you, like, somebody said you said this. I didn't ask them. I just cut them off. I have, like, lost a lot of friendships because of that. Because I kind of say I come from a family where we don't talk about stuff. Yeah. We don't have hard conversations. So me, now that I'm older, that's one thing that I'm big on. I'm not big on it with friends, I'm not gonna lie. But with like family, co-workers, employees, I'm big on having those hard conversations. With friends, sometimes I be feeling like we shouldn't have hard conversations. Like it should be you either my friend. I know.
Because people don't know, and I had to learn that too. People don't know how you feel. Like, it's in your head. Can't nobody don't know what's going on in your damn head.
They don't.
And I had to learn it because I'd be like, well, I thought you knew.
Yeah.
No, how? You never spoke it. So, I wouldn't cut people off so quick.
I know, I gotta stop that.
I would at least have one conversation is good. Now, after
that's what I've learned. I've been doing good. I feel like I've been doing good with having at least one conversation. That's my motto now. After we talk about it one time, if you don't change, you gotta go.
Because you grown. Like,
yeah.
You know what the hell you doing.
Okay, so what advice do you have for just young girls right now that are struggling with self-love, because just like how we said it was something that we didn't know exists, it's still millions of people out there that feel like that's so cliche. Of course I love myself, but they really don't, because they really don't even believe that it's a thing. So what advice do you have for them?
You can speak it all day long, but if you're not doing the internal work, none of it matters. You're going to be walking around like a lost soul. I feel like a lost soul for years, until I learned to dig deep. The work starts within you. You can only blame people for so long. Yes, they did what they did. No, it wasn't your fault. However, we can't change people. We can only change ourselves. So my best advice would be to worry about you, learn you, love you, fix you, because that's the only job you have at the end of the day. None of that work, nothing in your life can even get to the level you want it to get until you do that work. So that's my best advice.
Wow. And are you still, well, I know you are, because personal development, I was going to ask you, are you still on your personal development journey? But I know you are, because that's an everlasting thing. It doesn't stop. And that's one subject I feel like should be taught in schools and in every grade. Personal development should be taught in every school and in every grade, from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. Every year you should have a personal development class, because every year you change. If you're not growing and if you're not changing, you ain't growing. You just stagnant. And who wants to be stagnant? I had to learn that. Some people don't know that they're stagnant. They don't realize that, hey, I'm still in the same place that I was 10 years ago. But it's hard to do, so that's probably why people avoid the hard things. They do. Like healing. I avoided healing for so many years because it's hard. Like today, I had a rough morning. And I really wanted to be like, you know what, I'm going to cancel everything. But I dealt with my emotions. I allowed myself to feel my emotions, and I got up. Wow. And I went along and did it. I always say, God got the rest, and I'm going to show up and give my best. Wow. So, yeah, people don't do the hard things. And loving yourself is hard. It is. That journey is, like, very hard. Yeah, because you look for people, you know, spending time with you. People get so consumed with being surrounded by people that they don't even notice that they're not comfortable being alone. Wow. Like, if you can't sit in a room alone and do things alone, then, like, you don't love yourself. Yeah. I don't care how many times you can sit and tell me you love yourself. No, you don't. And I've had conversations with people that are like, I love myself, I know myself. You have never been nowhere by yourself or sat in a room by yourself, so no, you don't. Yeah. I love being alone. I feel like I'm alone too much. Yeah, I think I'm doing it too much. I think I do it too much, because my friends be like, we ain't heard from you in months. And I love myself. Like, and it's like, once you find that real love for yourself, it's genuinely the best feeling in the world. Like, and really learning to love your flaws. Like, I love my flaws. I love the bad stuff about me, because I've recognized it and I know, okay, this is something that I can change. Yeah. Because now I've acknowledged it. So, what's next for Jasmine Nicole, Miss Self-Love Coach? What's next? I am hosting classes. Oh, and let the people know what is the name of your podcast too, so they can hear more of Jasmine Nicole. So my podcast name is Ugly Truth, the podcast, where we talk about the ugly side of self-love, the things that people don't discuss, like the internal healing. And that's on all platforms. So, and I'm doing classes now, teaching women how to love themselves. I'm speaking at different events, whoever. You sure are. Yeah. I said, okay, Jasmine. I'm like, she doing this, she doing this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so proud of you. I really am. I feel like I have watched your growth. I feel it's, and I was just saying that, you remember you did my hair, like when you first started and you was on Dunn Avenue? No. Yes, you did me some crochets. Oh, wow. And I was like, wow. Like, I've been, just like you're watching me, I've been watching you. Oh, wow. Yes. Dang. And I'm like, dang, like, this girl is just, like, amazing. That's how I feel about you, too. Yeah. Like, you really are. You really, really are amazing. And I want you to just continue to do everything that you're doing, and I want you to realize, like, you had to go through everything that you went through for this moment right here, like literally this conversation right here, the conversation that you have on your podcast. You had to go through all of that for this. Like, sometimes it takes us years to realize, dang God, I see why you put me through that. I see why you put me in that car. I see why I went through that relationship. I see why that friendship didn't work out. I see why, I got daddy issues or mama trauma. It takes us years sometimes to realize, like, our purpose. And that leads to the last question. What is your purpose in life? I've been asking everybody this.
My purpose, and I'm so glad to say this because I remember the days when I was like, I don't know. But my purpose is to spread self-love. I really want everybody, mostly women, because I really feel like men don't have a hard time loving themselves.
Yes, they do. Yes. Men, let me tell you why they do. Men don't think that they have to love themselves at all. Men just want women to love them, and that's it. They feel like that's a lot of men. I ain't gonna say all.
Well, a lot of men I've seen then
feel like as long as other women are loving them, that's self-love for them.
Yeah.
So you can reach a lot of men.
Yeah. You might need to add them to the.
Because you got men. I feel like a lot of men don't feel like they're men if they don't have women.
That's true. They don't know how to be alone. You're right. You're on to something.
I'm telling you. I feel like women would be so much better if men had some more self-love. If they was able to treat themselves better, that they could treat us a little bit better. Shit.
Oh, period. I like that. I'm going to start with the men for the women. So
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for doing this interview. Once again, I just want to tell you that I'm so proud of you. I am rooting for you for everything that you do. When I say everything, I mean everything. I am Team Jasmine Nicole. I talk about you all the time. I love you like I've been knowing you for years.
You have.
I have. Yeah, because we went to high school together, literally.
So we watched each other grow up.
Literally. Yes. So I'm loving your journey. I'm loving seeing your self-love journey, and I just want you to continue to spread it for the whole spread.
And I will. I want to be worldwide. So.
You're going to be worldwide. You're going to be up there with the... I see it.
Yes.
But thank you so much for coming, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mind Your Damn Business.